Dear students, good afternoon to you all. Welcome to the online class. Myself, Mr. Ashok Kumar Mahapatra, student teacher, Sanskar Gurukul International School. Yesterday we have already studied about Indian economy during this period after independence up to 1990. What type of progressment has been done, and that we have discussed only in the field of agriculture. So now we will discuss about achievement in the field of industry. It means industrial revolution. So in the field of industry, what achievement has been done? That is, after the fifth year, after the planning commission, what precautions, what measures have been taken by the government in order to develop our country? What steps has been taken in order to make our country a industrial area? So main objective was, whatever the resources we have already contained in our country, that we have to utilize under any circumstances. Because if we will utilize the natural resources, ultimately what will happen? We will not depend on the foreign countries or abroad countries. Otherwise, we will say we will not import the goods which we require. Therefore, industrial development after 1950, already we took precaution to set up industries in India. Before that, we can say that industry was one type of in stagnant position. Colonial government has not taken any steps for the development of industries. Otherwise, we can say for the utilization of natural resources. Though our country in several areas will find different type of mineral resources are stocked in abundant quantity. So if we focus to the period before 1947, we will say only few industries were in India, that was largely confined to cotton industry as well as jute industry. Because we know the western side of India, particularly in Gujarat state, Maharashtra state, full cotton, that is largely cotton is produced. Therefore, cotton industries were set up by the collaboration of British government in western side of India. Similarly, in eastern India, we will say due to the large production of jute in West Bengal, jute industries were also set up in Kolkata. So mainly these were the two industries, jute and cotton. And in the case of heavy industries, we can say in Jamshedpur Tata there was the first steel plant which was made up by Jamshedji Tata, and that was only one heavy industrial sector. And except that, also few industries were set up in Kolkata. But in other parts of India, there was no industries at all. But keeping view to the progressment of a country, we have to focus towards the establishment of industries rather than the development of agricultural sector, because we know in the field of industries employment is generally more stable. In case of agriculture, employment is not at all stable. Therefore, after the independence, what happened? These type of industries, it means different industrial sectors were set up in different areas in all parts of the country according to the availability of, according to the contaminant of natural resources. So it has to remember that since the capitalists were very few, therefore all capitalists can't set up large industry by investing capital. It was not at all possible. Therefore, what happened? Decision was like that. Those are the heavy industry, those are the vital role in the field of industrial revolution. They will be set up by government of state government, otherwise central government. So which is known as public sector industry. It means industries those are set up by government, by the respective state government, that is known as public sector industries. And after that, those industries will be set up by entrepreneurs, otherwise capitalists. Generally, they are maybe small scale industries, otherwise we can say cottage industries. So that small scale industry also set up in the different parts of the country. Particularly, emphasis was given to set up the small scale industries as well as cottage industries. Those are economically backward areas, because first priority must be given, employment should be given to all category of people. Particularly, we know in a heavy industry what happened? Generally, skilled labor they engage, they get the employment, and all kind of people, all type of skilled or unskilled people, they can't observe in a large scale industry or in a heavy industry. A heavy industry, since it is set up in the collaboration of government, therefore only those are the skilled persons, they will be engaged. Therefore, it will not provide the employment to all category of people. So it will create the discriminant. Therefore, in order to avoid this discrimination, government has given importance for the private sector industry, which belongs to small scale industry or cottage industry. But those small scale industries will be set up by private sector, otherwise by entrepreneurs. They have to take the license from the state government, from the respective state government. They have to fulfill certain criteria, but it will provide the job opportunities to all the category of people in that region. So the barrier, the discrimination will be perhaps abolished, and it has the main advantage. We can say it will generate more employment opportunities rather than the public sector industry. So all over India, whatever the natural resources available in different areas, basing upon that, government already get the permission to the entrepreneurs to set up the private industries. But as per the comparison, we can say whatever the outputs generally we got from the small scale industry, otherwise say cottage industry, that was not so satisfactory, because in a public sector industry what happened, as government invested all the capital, therefore generally modern techniques are followed, skilled labor are engaged, therefore production is generally satisfactory, as well as quality is generally maintained. But in small scale industry, due to the lack of financial assistance, generally output quality may not be good. So after the 7th year plan, government gave more emphasis towards the private sector industries, because it is complementary to the public sector industries. As all the materials we can't get from a large scale industry, so government encouraged the entrepreneurs to set up private industries in a adequate range and to provide the employment to all the people, so that we can say our country is on progress way. So that precaution has been taken. So this is about the private industry. Similarly, if we focus to the cottage industry, also cottage industry as well as small scale industry, that generally during that period in 1950 it requires minimum the amount of 5 lakh. Now existing small scale industry or cottage industry, that may require minimum 5 lakh rupees, whatever from the bank. Generally it is financed to the entrepreneurs to set up the small scale industry, because government has taken all the precautions to give employment to all category of people. So this is the scenario in the field of industry segment in the period of 1950 to 1990. So then we will discuss about the trade, how export and import provision was during that period, what steps has been taken by the government in order to improvement the export facility. So dear students, you will read about that I have taught in the field of agriculture as well as in the field of industry, what development has been taken by the government. Thank you all.